Fulham won, Wolves won, and probably a night of, probably 2 points lost rather than 1 point gain, I think, with the performance in that first half. I think it was probably one of our best performances of the season. That first 45 minutes, how calm we were and how we sort of dictated play and sort of controlled the game. It was a perfect away performance in the Premier League, sort of nullified and quietened the crowd pretty quickly, took control of the game, played it at our tempo. Although we didn't really carve them open at any point, we were just full control of the game, and they only got one winner in that first half. And I feel like we probably should have. Well, we played well enough to be a couple of goals ahead. Probably a little bit toothless again, which has been our problem probably for 2.5, 3 years now. So there's no difference to think that from a Wolves performance. But yeah, I mean, with the goal itself, I think, Raul, who I thought had a really good game tonight. I think a lot of people have written him off, myself included, to some extent. That's probably his best performance post-injury, if I'm honest with you. I thought he linked up the play really well, held it up well. And it's a really clever sort of header back to set Sarabia up, who took his goal well. And again, he got a lot of slander last week, and I defended him on the pod, just thinking it was just ridiculous. And yeah, he took his goal well, 1-0 up at half-time, and in complete cruise control. Second half, again, it was okay to start off with. They were always going to have a spell in the game, Fulham. It's Premier League, they're a good team, they're sixth in the league for a reason. They're always going to have a 5-10 minute spell that you sort of have to try and weather out and then try and carry on with it. So, they couldn't be any worse, I don't think, in that second half than what they were in the first half. And I think Manor Solomon's come on, he's taken his goal extremely well. No chance for Jose Sarr. I think we've been a little bit critical. We probably gave him maybe a couple of yards off. We could have pressed a little bit earlier, but it was a quality finish, to be fair to him. And against the run of the play, really. And then the disappointing thing for me is, as soon as it goes 1-1, we stop playing. I still think we were there. We were very much in control of the game to some extent. I feel like we were still the better team. I thought at that point still, if anyone was going to go on and win the game for that period of time, I still thought it would be us. And then as time wore on, we just got sloppier and sloppier. And I think it's a confidence thing, really. We just stopped playing. And yeah, I think looking at it on the surface of it, a point away from home in the Premier League, I've always said it's a good point, no matter where you go. Especially against that Fulham team where they are in the league at the moment. I think Marco Silva is probably manager of the year, unless Arteta and Arsenal end up winning the league. I think he's definitely a shoo-in for it. So look, it was a decent point, very good performance on the whole. I think special mentions for me. I think I thought Bueno and Semedo both were unbelievable all night. I thought they both played extremely well. Lamina as well, unreal. 5 million quid, absolutely unreal. And like I say, Raul as well, I thought had a really good game. But I think, there's loads of positive to be taken from it. I still think possibly, we're going to rule on this as being 2 points lost rather than 1 point gained. But yeah, look, it was a good performance. It's a good point away from home, and onwards and upwards for Wednesday now. Up the Wolves.
Well, what to say about that game? I think the fact that we come away disappointed with the draw away at Fulham tells it all, really. Absolutely brilliant first half. Played some exceptional football, had all of the ball really. Fulham didn't worry us at all. Good goal from Sarabia. Ball comes in. I think it's good ball from Núñez. Dropped it just over the defender. Jimenez nods it down. Sarabia on the end of it. One touch. Second one's in the back of the net. But brilliant goal all round really. Just real quality and showed what we could do. I think the disappointing thing was that we then didn't go on and kill the game off. I think one of the commentators said, Wolves played well enough in the first half to win 2 games, but to only go in 1-0 up is then just disappointing, because we seem to do this where we play really well, but it's not as if their goalkeeper's making save after save. We're just not creating enough clear-cut chances, really, and that's a disappointing thing. But so I can't really fault the first half. First half was brilliant, defended well, played well. Fulham didn't have a sniff, and just all-round quality performance, really. Thought Jimenez coming in made a difference. Thought he held the ball up well, really. Never really had a sniff of goal. As I say, did really well for the header down to Sarabia for the Wolves goal, but just held the ball up well, I thought. Some intelligent touches, won some free kicks, held the ball up well, and looked good. Kuna probably looked better out wide than he had done through the middle. Some good touches again, some runs in behind. Say just generally played well, and the midfield three of Nunes, Neves, and Lamina again seemed to work really well. Brilliant game I thought from Lamina today, from start to finish. Really dominated that midfield. Him and Neves really. And Nunes playing better as well in that. Still out on the left, but not quite as wide, which I thought suited him really. Coming inside a little bit more. Defensively, again, really very good. Dawson and Kilman, solid. Dawson, I think, gave one ball away, but other than that, I thought he played well. Semedo on the right, again, good game. And Bueno on the left, man the match for me all day long. Brilliant on the ball. Got down the byline well, put a couple of decent balls in the box, and defended really well as well. Kuna gets injured, goes off, Adama comes on. Not his best game at all today, to be honest. He didn't do anything when he got the ball. They left him one-on-one, which surprised me, but again, he never really got around his man. But yeah, didn't really do anything when he came on. Then took Jimenez off for Costa, which is probably more down to match fitness on Jimenez's part than anything else. Costa just looks an absolute shadow of himself. I think, to be honest, it wasn't for the fact that he's Diego Costa, he'd be getting absolute pelters by now. He didn't, don't get me wrong, he didn't play that long today, but just doesn't look at it at all. There was one where I think it was Podence whipped the ball into the near post, and he's just not even moving in the box, and that's a disappointing thing. You expect from Diego Costa movement, aggression, getting on the end of things, fighting for every ball, and he's still got that niggliness to him, but he doesn't do enough for me at all. And to be honest, with Sasha back in the end of the season, Costa's the first one out for me. But yeah, so disappointing, which I didn't think I'd be saying 90 minutes ago away at Fulham. A point away at Fulham, do not get me wrong, is an absolutely great result. They're flying this season. Good team, especially at home, and the position we're in, I think away from home, a point has always got to be a good result. But just when the game was there for the taking and we were so good in the first half, you just want to see us go on and get the second, third. And to be honest with the way we were playing, even the fourth goal, we were absolutely sensational football that first half. But yeah, their goal, I don't really blame anybody, if I'm honest. I think Jamie Carragher was saying perhaps Dawson was too deep and the whole line was too deep, and he knows far better than I do. But to be honest, the guy's cut inside. He's curled it into that corner. He scores that 1 out of 100 times. Even in training, he scores that 1 out of 100. So I'm not going to be too critical of anybody and say, it was their fault. I thought that would be a bit harsh. Good save from Sarr at the end. Their striker got up well for a header. All 6'10" of him or whatever he was, got up well for a header, and Sarr made a good save to ultimately, I wouldn't say hold on to a point, because I think that'd be unfair on us actually. I think, let's say, we were well, really, really good value for the point, and probably should have got the win. Anyway, on to Liverpool now. I think it is on Wednesday night. Be another tough game. They've turned a corner a little bit, but hopefully we'll do the same as we did when they came to Molineux, and another comfortable win against a bang average mid-table team. But yeah, carry on playing like that would be okay. I'd just like to see us create more and score more, which, as we all know, really has been the problem all season. But yeah, good performance, and hopefully 3 points next time out.
Well, if you'd offered me a point before the game, I think I probably would have snapped your hand off, considering their form that they've been in lately and the teams that they've beaten and the goals that they've managed to keep out. But actually, I think we were the better team over the majority of the game. I think for the first 60 minutes before their goal, we played them off the park, really. I thought we were brilliant, especially the fullbacks, Semedo and Bueno, were absolutely perfect today. I thought, again, Lamina back into the side completely changes the dynamic of our midfield, because without him, like we saw against Bournemouth last week, we're missing something. Although Neves is great and will give you an 8 out of 10 every week, today in the second half he wasn't quite on it, and Lamina really made up for that. So I felt he really restored the balance of the midfield today, and that allowed us to be really, really good in the first 60 minutes of the game. And even in the second half, I thought he was kind of one of the reasons why we didn't end up losing. We really lost momentum and rhythm after Cunha got injured. I hope it's not too serious. We seem to have horrible injury luck with strikers. Feels like everyone that plays up front for us is going to get injured one way or another at some point. So that's unfortunate to see. I thought Podence, when he came on, was I don't want to say the wrong substitution, because on paper it should work, but he's just not been that great lately at all, and he gave the ball away pretty much every occasion that he touched it. So not a perfect performance from him by any means. Yeah, we were just a little bit disjointed in attack. Sarabia, very well taken with the goal. He had a chance right before it, I think, as well, that he probably should have scored. So we're unlucky to only score one goal, and in the end we've been beaten by a wonder goal from Mano Solomon, who's in really good form at the moment anyway. So sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it. I think we've defended pretty well on the whole, and it's a point that I think I could be happy with away against a team that's in pretty good form. So we have some pretty hard fixtures coming. Liverpool, Spurs, Newcastle away, but that's positive that we've taken that performance on the road and done really well. So here's hoping we can churn a few more points out in this hard period and then end up in the mid-table.
So, Fulham 1, Wolves 1 on the Friday night at Craven Cottage. If you'd offered me that before the game, I'd have gone, yeah, probably take that. Decent result, decent point away from home. But as the game transpired, I really thought Wolves deserved to win that match. And it might just be slight bias. Well, I think if you base it off the first 60 minutes, I think Wolves were by far deserving winners. But after the equaliser, neither team really threatened too much. Vinicius had a late header save by Sa, decent save, but I'm a bit disappointed that Wolves couldn't come away with the 3 points tonight, and that's a good sign. That is a really good sign, because at least we didn't lose it. Teams that are down there and in past years tend to lose matches like that, where they play so well for an hour and then the home team gets an equaliser and the momentum completely shifts. We kept Fulham to a minimum of chances created tonight, and I think played really well. Mario Lemina, by the way, what a signing. Absolutely brilliant. If he plays every match from now until the end of the season, I find it very hard to see Wolves going down. I really can. I think he has been absolutely brilliant in the bits I've seen of him, especially tonight. The engine on him ran the game. Tackles. He's the big midfielder. He's a midfield presence that we've lacked for the last 2 or 3 years in the Premier League, really. Well, Wolves have lacked really since I think Alfred N'Diaye was the last big, strong player in the middle. And he's not even that big, but he's just very tenacious in the tackle. And I was really impressed with him tonight. The same with Hugo Bueno, played at left back. Flawless performance by him. Maybe got in behind once or twice. Willian, who has been really good for Fulham this season, barely had a sniff on him. Barely had a sniff there to bring Harry Wilson on, and he didn't do much either. And Kenny Tete, who's also operates down that side, who's so many assists this season, and is also a really good player, limited to very little. He got a cross in late on for that Vinicius header. But apart from that, nothing. And Bueno going forward as well. Some brilliant crosses he was knocking into the middle. I only wish we had someone like Sasa Kalajic in there that would be able to stretch and head them in. But seriously, Wolves, I wasn't really convinced by him. I'll be totally honest, and some fans might have a go at me for saying that. But tonight I'm sold. I think that was a really good performance by a young player in a tough place to go, and he handled himself absolutely brilliantly. And Jamie Carragher gave him man of the match on Sky, and I would do exactly the same. I thought he was really good. As for Wolves tonight, special word on Raul Jimenez. I thought that he came off with about 10 minutes to go, and I thought that first half was his best first half since his injury 2 years ago. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. His hold-up play, his bringing people into play, his passing, his heading. He won a few headers over Tim Ring, but overall, just his distribution. Something that Wolves have lacked, a striker that they've been able to play off. This whole season they've lacked it. And as soon as they get one, and he's played matches, we know, and he's been shocking in a lot of them. Well, maybe a lot of them. He's been poor in a lot of them, shocking in a few. But tonight was his best performance of the season, I think. I'd give him a solid 7 out of 10. Great little assists for the goal. Great header back to Sarabia, who, I don't know. I'm not sold, but I do think he has potential in a Wolves shirt. It was a great goal, brilliantly taken, although it might have been from a poor touch in the first place. But his first opportunity he had on the left foot was a really good opportunity and a really good block. But I don't know, I just think he lacks that little bit of pace or just something about him. Maybe I might be wrong, but I can see him. I think he has potential to be a really good player for Wolves. Cunha is another one, and yeah, I hope that injury is not too serious. I hope he was just the fact that we were winning play acting up a bit, but when a stretcher comes on, it's never a good sign. I don't know. I need to see more from him. I'm just being totally honest here. Like, I'm not going to dress it up as a new signing. I'm just going to praise him willy-nilly. I do need to see more from him personally. That's just my opinion. Others might disagree. But overall tonight, it's a good point for Wolves. But in the context of it, is it though? Because look, you can't really complain, can you? You're going away to the team that are sixth in the Premier League and having their best season for years, and when you come out with a point and you don't lose them over 2 games, and you probably deserve to win both games as well, like I think we did in August, I think it's not a bad result for Wolves tonight. I thought Lopetegui got the team selection spot on. Nunes did really well on that left side of the pitch with Bueno. They had a few nice combinations. Substitutes didn't really do as well as I wanted them to. Adama, Pedence. I'm looking at the two of them. Pedence was pretty poor when he came on. Gave away the ball a few times in good attacking areas. But yeah, Wolves didn't create much in the second half. Dawson had a header which was blocked. That's about it. So I don't think we can complain. But at the same time, it would have been nice to get 3 points on the board. But watch the other results come in this weekend. And let's just hope Manchester City don't have an absolute meltdown and Leeds and Southampton draw. And then it's been a pretty decent weekend, I would say, for Wolves. But we have all that to come and we have to watch that all unfold tomorrow. But if we play like we did tonight for the rest of the season, I'm confident we will be okay. Great goal by Solomon. Not really much you can do. Maybe Dawson should have been out quicker. But it's a wonder goal, isn't it, really? It's one of them. It's a kick in the stomach, but I'm really glad that Wolves didn't buckle and lose after that, which is what they did at Crystal Palace, if you remember, back in October under Steve Davis. But, yeah, so 1-1 tonight. Okay result.